Right now, I'm holding the most illegally hunted, most illegally traded animal in the world. This is a live pangolin, and I found it here at a bushmeat market in Ghana.
As outsiders, we're told that bushmeat should stop, that it spreads disease, and that it endangers animals. But what do the locals think?
What would happen if bushmeat was banned tomorrow?
She said I should tell you point blank that it will never happen.
Today, I'm on a mission to learn why folks in Ghana stand by the tradition of hunting and eating bushmeat.
Why is bushmeat important to Ghana?
And by the end of this video, I'll experience an extreme bushmeat meal for myself.
You know people here eat the pangolin. They make it like in a soup form.
Oh my God.
Our day begins at a not-so-typical roadside stall somewhere between Accra and Kumasi. And trust me, you won't find a market like this anywhere else around the world.
I want to start with a simple question. What is this place?
Oh, this is the train station. They said about the bushmeat on here.
How long has this place been here? Do you know?
More than 50 years.
More than 50 years. Wow. I wasn't born.
This is Abby, a Kumasi-born chef who will join me on today's expedition. Beside her, bushmeat vendor Isaac. Though the work ain't pretty, he earns up to $150 daily selling wild animals for food.
Can you tell me about the most common animals that you get?
They have antelope, grasscutter, porcupine, so many meats.
Do you have turtle here?
Yes.
I've never seen turtles strung up this way.
Yeah, me too. I've never seen it.
It looks like the weirdest kind of wind chime I've ever seen in my life.
Situated on a major highway linking Ghana's capital to its second largest city, Isaac's shop caters mainly to road workers, travelers, and drivers seeking exotic souvenirs in the form of fresh or smoked bushmeat. These are ideal for pepper soup, a classic Ghanaian recipe for bushmeat. Isaac is preparing one such dish right now, and he's kindly invited us to join in. His protein choice, the dik-dik. Commonly found in the bushlands of eastern and southern Africa, the dik-dik is a small antelope, so small that dik-dik adults weigh only 13 pounds. In Ghana, dik-dik meat is one of the many wild species permitted for consumption.
How does the meat get here?
Isaac starts by removing the dik-dik's coat and roasting it to burn off any remaining hair. Then he washes and scrapes it clean.
They collect from hunters before coming here to sell to the people.
So you're the middleman. The hunter, they go out, they get the animals, they sell it to you, and then the burden is on you to sell it to somebody else for more money.
Yes.
Next, Isaac removes the organs and chops the animal into smaller pieces.
How many different hunters do you see every week?
Chunks of dik-dik meat leap into a pot with onion, ginger, tomato, red pepper powder, bouillon powder, and a handful of salt. Then he lets it simmer for some time.
More than 20 hunters. They are hunted with the trap and the guns. They live from the villages.
Is it far, like very far from here?
Yes, Serbia and Koko.
In Koko, that's like about 2 hours.
Isaac adds the final touch in the form of habanero and tomato paste.
Abby, you're looking at the food.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think this looks good. From my experience, it looks spicy. This soup is supposed to be spicy, so I think it looks perfect.
As a private chef and food influencer, Abby makes it her mission to promote Ghanaian cuisine through social media. Despite her expertise, living in Accra, away from the bush, limits her exposure to bush meat. But when in Rome, she's more than happy to throw some back.
So, is this a good one?
No.
Well, there you have it.
It's good.
Oh, it is
So
good.
why do you say it's not good?
I didn't hear it well.
Let me give it a little bit of a sniff. All right, it smells good. It smells spicy. It smells a little bit gamey, too. Oh, yeah, that's spicy.
As it should be.
Plenty of spice. Holy cow. So it's very salty and very spicy. What do you think? Are you happy with it?
Oh, it was nice.
The broth is nice. I'm gonna try some of the meat. Wow, it's really lean. It's a little bit like chicken, which
Yeah.
surprises me. It looks like white meat. It's almost like a pork tenderloin, but a little bit gamey.
Yeah, this is so good, actually. Do you like it?
I'm confounded. It's confusing. Look, I'm comfortable in an Applebee's with some half-price appetizers in front of me. Right now, I'm in the middle of the countryside in Ghana. I have a dik-dik in my bowl. I got smoke in my face. I've got road construction behind me. I'm a little bit out of my element.
There's a lot going on, I get you.
And so, do I like it?
Yes, you must.
I think I do.
When it comes to bushmeat in Ghana, what you see here is just the tip of the spear. Soon we'll be heading to Kumasi's largest bushmeat market.
What are the most exotic, rare creatures? I mean, have you ever gotten a giraffe?
But first, there's more to uncover at this roadside stall, including This, an unexpected encounter with one of the most prized bushmeat targets in Africa.
It's well known that it's illegal to have, but they have it anyways. Most people, when they come to Africa or to Ghana and they make a video about bushmeat, it's all negative. It's a way of life and a way of eating that most Americans cannot even begin to comprehend. What percentage of people in Ghana do you think are actually taking part in the consumption of bushmeat?
There are a lot of people.
Half the people?
More than half.
In cities, bushmeat is a rare and pricey delicacy, costing up to 3 times more than beef. But in rural areas where hunting is more prevalent, common species like grass cutters or small antelopes offer meat that's cheaper and easier to get a hold of. In fact, for some families, bushmeat makes up 90% of their daily intake of protein.
Why do some people in Ghana love bushmeat so much?
So he's saying that bushmeat is very nutritious here in Ghana. Most of the bushmeat don't have fat at all. Also, when you go to the bush, right, there are some plants or some leaves that are very, 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 very high in like their medicines. Those leaves are the leaves that these animals feed on. So the nutrients in it are very high.
Aside from Ghana, the tradition of eating bushmeat has deep roots in Cameroon, Nigeria, and the Congo. In spite of this, the hunting and eating of bushmeat has a negative stigma around the world. Most fear that this practice, if left unchecked, will lead to the permanent extinction of certain precious African species. This is a pangolin, one of the most critically endangered animals in the world.
At the bushmeat market right now, a gentleman just brought this out. He showed it to me. When we asked him if we could film it, if we could film him, he said absolutely not, because this is illegal. So what happens when something is illegal? It still gets captured, it still gets killed or hunted and sold, but they do so in secret.
The pangolin family consists of 8 species. They're found in tropical regions of Africa and Asia, and they're known for their distinctive overlapping scales, used to protect themselves against predators.
Its defensive posture is to curl up, to wrap its tail around its body.
Tragically, this natural armor, meant to protect the pangolin, is the very same thing that makes it vulnerable and sought after by poachers.
It makes it even a little bit more heartbreaking, the fact that they're so docile and gentle. It's not trying to bite me or attack, it's just trying to hide and wait for me to go away.
But who's after these pangolin scales, and for what reason?
You can hear me, right? Keep rolling.
I probed the camera-shy seller in an effort to learn more.
The Chinese people come to buy from them.
Our fixer Mavis helps us translate the conversation.
So we can dump the scale in water and soak it and drink.
Pangolin scales are merely keratin, made of the same material as your fingernails. But that hasn't stopped an influential number of Chinese from giving up their belief that pangolin scales have special healing properties, pushing market prices for their scales up to $1,500 per pound.
So do they transport the whole animal or just the scales?
So sometimes they come for the animal itself, sometimes they request for the scale.
In spite of international regulations protecting pangolins since 1975 and China's 2020 ban on consuming wild animals, smugglers still traffic tons of pangolin scales across borders each year. Meanwhile, I'm here in the middle of nowhere with a pangolin that's dehydrated and destined to become a blended toenail in someone's healing concoction. That I cannot allow. So $150 later, I'm the proud new father of this guy. The only problem is, I need to find a safe place to let him free, a place where he won't be caught by the same poachers. But in the meantime, Abby and I are heading to Kumasi's largest bushmeat market, and soon I'll be tasting a species from the bush that I've never tried before.
I didn't even know people eat bush cats.
Right now we've come to Kumasi Market. This place is truly gigantic, huge and sprawling. There are literally thousands and thousands of stores, stalls, and vendors here, including this place. This is the bushmeat section of the market.
Situated in one of the largest open-air markets in West Africa, this bushmeat market processes up to 500 animals per day.
I want to back up and explain a couple of my goals in this video. I think most Westerners, when they come here to do reports or videos or documentaries on bushmeat, it's really only done to villainize what's taking place locally. Of course, we all know the dark side of bushmeat, people hunting and selling endangered animals and so on. But bushmeat is also an industry that employs thousands of people, from people hunting animals that are not vulnerable species to those selling to hunters. So I'm gonna do my best in this video to look at both sides.
Once folks here receive bush animals from the hunters, work can begin.
A normal day for him, he wakes up at like 5 a.m. He needs to get here before 6 a.m. so that he can start working on all the animals that they will bring from the farm or the bush or wherever it's coming from.
It starts with a char, burning the hair so it can be scraped clean. Then they hack the carcass into large chunks. Some cut are smoked or grilled, then sold as is, while the rest are set aside for stews or soup. This will be our protein for our final meal, though I'll reveal the actual species later on.
So different animals can come any day. It can be from grass cutter to bushback, antelope, whatever it is, they can all come. So it depends on the hunter, it doesn't depend on them. By 7 a.m. they need to finish everything and then distribute it to wherever it's going to. Whether the market women will come for it or then the chop by women will come for it. So 15 years ago, he's been doing this.
What? It's a long time. Has anything changed about this bushmeat market in 15 years?
And what to say first?
So he said people were saying that the COVID was from the bats.
Right.
Yeah, and then some other bushmeat animals. So once they heard that, it affected all the bushmeat animals. So nobody wants to eat it at all.
And it's affected sales to this day.
Exactly.
Do people know that COVID came from China, or do they think it came from somewhere else?
Well, I know that COVID came from China, but people actually think it's from bushmeat. Most of Ghanaians think so.
Though we now know that COVID-19 actually came from a laboratory in Wuhan, China, that doesn't mean that bushmeat is without risk. Zoonotic pathogens have spilled over into human populations in the past, but the government here has listed out animals approved for consumption, and that meat, purchased from reputable, clean sources, can greatly decrease any threats from the bushmeat. From the processing area, fresh meat is often purchased and brought to small eateries known as chop bars. In this chop bar's open kitchen, a cooking lady will whip up a groundnut soup for our final meal. First, she chops our bushmeat cuts into smaller pieces. While waiting for our food, Abby and I meet the Queen Mother.
I come in here and I'm like, why is this bushmeat market more orderly than half of Ghana? I think it's because of you.
The Queen Mother is an elected representative and arbitrator of disputes among traders.
When you became the Queen Mother, what changes did you make?
This one, I brought it here.
The cooler.
We put the meat on it. Then we take ice blocks, not to spoil. This antelope.
Oh.
We have antelope, black Dhaka, royal antelope.
After a thorough wash, the bushmeat chunks settle inside a big pot with a ginger onion garlic blend and tomato paste. Our cook adds water and lets it simmer until the meat softens.
My big question for you is, why is bushmeat important for Ghana? Why aren't you just eating chicken and beef and pork? Because you have all that here too.
She said that it's been a generational thing. There is no deeper meaning to why we eat bushmeat. But for her, she feels like God has provided it. So why not kill it and enjoy it?
So should bushmeat have any limits?
Halfway through the simmering process, the cook adds 2 fresh tomatoes and an onion. Then she focuses on diluting groundnut paste with some water.
Aside the ones that are actually illegal to eat, the only restrictions that is on it is the timing of hunting.
Right.
So from August to December, do not touch any bushmeat.
Once the meat is tender enough to absorb more flavor, the cook pours in the diluted groundnut paste, a pepper tomato blend, and dried catfish. Half an hour more of simmering, and there's no turning back.
I have one last question. I want you to think about this a lot. If bushmeat was banned tomorrow, you cannot hunt it, you cannot sell it, you cannot eat it, what would be the negative effect to people in Ghana?
She said I should tell you point blank that will never happen here. She believes in God strongly. So she said God will never let that happen. But if that should happen, like you're saying, it will affect us badly because she's going to lose her job. This is something she's been doing from childhood. Just here in Kumasi, you can count over 100 people in this business. So just imagine the whole Ghana.
Generating around $136 million annually, Ghana's bushmeat industry is more than a handful of hunters and market sellers. It's a serious business and an essential source of protein for countryside folks, especially during the dry season when farmed meat is more scarce.
Even if you think they ban it, people love bushmeat so much. They can't afford to stay away from it. So it's not going to work for them.
The entanglement between bushmeat and its connection to the people of Ghana makes outright banning bushmeat a complicated matter. So instead of banning, the government has focused on creating and enforcing regulations. Those same regulations ban the hunting and selling of pangolins. Come to think of it, I was illegally sold a pangolin, and I think I just figured out what to do with it. But first, the groundnut soup.
Alas, our final dish, a dish full of exotic bushmeat.
Yes.
Here's what's wild. So right before we had this served to us, I saw more animals brought in, and there was a bush cat out there.
Do you want to try that?
Well, I'm not saying I feel like I'm missing out. It's just one of the few places in the world where you see stuff like that. I instantly thought, oh, that must be an accident. It must be illegal. And then we asked, and they go, no, it's legal. That's fine. Now, when it comes to this, we have the bush buck here.
The bush buck, a medium-sized antelope, weighing about 10 times more than a dik-dik. It thrives across sub-Saharan Africa, making it one of the most popular sources of bushmeat in Ghana.
So this is granite soup. We use it to eat any kind of staple. You can use it to eat bangkun, fufu, but preferably it's best eaten with rice balls. Like literally, it's the best combo.
The rice balls, when she was making it, it looked like oversaturated rice. She puts in a little too much water to get it soft, and then she balls it up.
That's it.
Oh, it's hot. It's been sitting here for 10 minutes. It's still hot.
What do you think?
Wow, I don't know. I feel like I got hit by 10 different cars. It was like a wave of experiences.
Yeah.
First, I tasted the gaminess, some kind of a flavor I've not really had before. That hits me at first. Now, the texture is nice. It seems well suited to soaking up this broth. Then I'm tasting tons of spice, tons of salt, and it's very spicy too.
Yeah, as it should be.
Now, I like the peanut part. It's giving me Thailand vibes. So, the bush buck, this is new for you. You've had plenty of bush meat, but never
Yeah.
the bush buck.
How soft it is. It looks really tender.
That's pretty good. It's much more lean than
Yeah.
beef. A little bit more like deer to me.
And really soft. I like it.
Skin.
Let's try that.
A bit rubbery. You know, our soups in the USA, we never eat the skin like this. Do you know what we do with cow skin?
No.
We make shoes.
Why would you make shoes with cow skin?
I'm just saying, we don't eat it. It's a different type of texture. I wouldn't have liked it when I was 24, but I've gotten used to weird textures around the world. It's a bit chewy, and it has a lot of collagen. I like it though.
I like everything about this food. And it's one of my favorite meals in Ghana. Ghana soup with whatever, whether bush meat or whatever it is, I'll eat it. I don't know about you, but I'm happy about it.
I feel very conflicted on the issue of bushmeat. On one hand, I think that it's an important industry for the local people, and it's important for people to honor their history and their heritage.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's a dark side to it too. For you, as a Ghanaian, bushmeat, is it good, bad, or complicated?
I think I'll say it's good. Why would I say it's bad? I enjoy eating it. I mean, I'm enjoying this right now, so I would never say this is bad. I get what your point is. You don't want to like finish all the animals or let them go extinct. But for me, I think as an African woman, if something is good to me, I would eat it.
In that case, is it good that they're taking measures to reduce overconsumption? For example, they stop hunting from August to December. Is that a good thing?
I think that's the only way we can control that. So we can enjoy it and can also sustain it.
I think that's the future for Ghana and
Yeah.
other parts of Africa.
Yeah.
I don't think it's reasonable to say that bushmeat should be banned. It's like going to Minnesota, where I'm from, and saying deer hunting should be banned. It's just like an ignorant statement.
Yeah.
But there needs to be governing bodies. There needs to be some limitation. Otherwise, that idea about will this go 100 years into the future, it won't even go 20 years into the future.
That's true.
If it's completely unregulated.
That's true.
Our journey with the bushmeat is done, but our story is not over. I've taken the pangolin and we've come here. Right now we are at Kumasi Zoo. We've just spoken to the people here. We've just come here unannounced and they said, yes, you can come in. They have an area here where we can release it. We're gonna go do that now.
The Kumasi Zoological Gardens spans 370 acres and is home to nearly 200 animals. Here they engage in breeding programs for endangered species, and they also provide sanctuary for orphaned animals. Here, my gentle pangolin friend is promised a bright future.
Right now we are inside the walls of the zoo, and here they have a huge forest area in this enclosure. They said actually they have about 30 pangolins in here already. I'm not the first to do this, which is a good thing. Other folks, they go by these street-side bushmeat markets, they purchase the animals, and they've also brought them here too. So it'll be a chance for this guy to reproduce and to live for another day, hopefully. So I'm gonna let it out of this Smirnoff ice box. And let him go on his way. I mean, I'm sure you can probably see why they're pretty easy to catch. They're like the most sweet creatures ever. You're so bad at being free. No wonder they catch you. Yes, go, go. Into the bush. We're turning the bushmeat back to the bush. Until next time, my friend.
Hungry for more fun food videos? Join me at more Best Ever Food Review Show, a channel that's unfiltered, raw, half the quality, and twice the fun.
You walk away and come back. Oh, look, the server.
Subscribe now and you probably won't regret it.
Can someone turn down the fog machine? I mean, we spend so much on this production value, but they're overdoing it. It's a fun joke, right?
You know what a black man would do?
A black man?
Like me.
Are you a black man?
I am. Like, I'm
black
just
woman?
classifying everybody as a.
Oh, okay.
When I eat something like this, you want to go right into it. So no time to waste. So like,
Oh, yeah.
then,
Oh, yeah, and then lick the finger.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing people eat like that.
Exactly.
But
No,
we're
no.
sharing this.
This is not even so thick. We have thicker ones than this.
Oh, I like you're showing off about how thick the skin is that you eat here.
Yeah.
Boom, guys, that is the end of video 3 here in Ghana. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it educational and got a new perspective on this fascinating part of Ghana's culinary scene. I also want to say a huge thank you to Chef Abby for joining me. Shake my hand right here. Here I am. Chef Abby, you can find her on social media under Chef Abby right here. It's on the screen. Otherwise, guys, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Do you know this part?
No? Okay.
Peace. You didn't say anything.
I'm supposed to say peace?
Yeah. Let's do it again. Peace. All right. Should we get a bush cat for takeout?
Yeah.
Or maybe Uber Eats. Let me check the Uber Eats. Do you think
Why
they
would you
have
take a bush cat out?
for takeout to eat in the hotel room?
Why?
Okay, I'm gonna check Uber Eats. What else do they have? Bush gerbil, bush
Do I get
dog,
off?
bush lasagna.